We're going to talk about the obvious thing between the three kings. Tito likened it to the boroughs, the 5 boroughs sitting together to talk about the one thing that unites all of you three and anyone who's going to listen in on this. How many of the open mic community have actually seen the three of you in one room before?
Not a couple years.
Few times.
They have.
Yeah, sure.
Same room or same courtyard? Yeah, we have partied together.
Of course.
Come on, there's like video evidence. There's like video
When
posts
did you move
and
here,
stuff.
Kenny?
A year and a half.
You only been here a year?
Only?
Really?
Only?
No.
Yeah, that's the
It
thing.
seems forever, man.
You have to count 2020, so like, you can't just get away with it.
Half, bro.
Really?
If you take away 2020, a year and a half.
So it's 2.5. It's got to be.
It's not 2.5. Nowhere near.
Not
Kenny,
2.5 men?
did you go to these guys' open mics before?
Tito's first.
What was the? I want to hear the first open mic
Tito
experience
was at
from
that-
each of you first.
How
Before
How did
we-
you find?
1066.
Oh, the 1066 one because of like
Tom Dent works. Tom Dent's like another guy who does.
who's currently my roommate.
He's actually like a very, very cool performer, man. I like Tom a lot. He was the first person I seen when I moved here.
Mhm.
I don't know, like
He's almost
he works
Scottish,
with-
yeah.
He's almost Scottish. He's North England. Where's he from? Newcastle.
No.
Kinda just outside Newcastle. He's a Macom. That's it.
He's from
Sorry.
Sunderland.
Sunderland.
Don't ever tell him he's from Newcastle. He'll kill you.
So Tom Dent.
So a girl he works with is friends with my wife.
Uh-huh.
And she was at my wedding, and then when we moved there, she says, "Do you want to come out and see some live music?" We went there. It happened to be 1066 at Tito.
And who was you were running it at that time?
At 1066, yeah. I always ran 1066 until now, whatever it's called, the Barroso.
The Barossa.
No,
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand that. Is it supposed to be a play on like?
No, Barossa
Captain
is
Jack
a
or-
is a
it's an Aussie
it's a
thing?
valley in
Oh,
South Australia.
That's where they grow the wine.
That's where they have the Barossa wine.
Okay.
Mhm.
I've
Does
heard
he
of it, but
sell
I didn't
wine?
realize that. I just put that together. For some reason, I was thinking like Captain Jack's, like the Blackbeard was Barossa.
Ah, yeah. Barbosa.
Barbosa.
That was Barbosa.
Yeah.
So your first experience with open mic was going to Tito's
In
at
Budapest,
1066
yeah,
in Budapest.
yeah.
But you ran one in Scotland, didn't you, at your mom's pub?
I ran a couple. I ran one in London.
No.
I've done one in Scotland and one in Essex.
So you did this before, Kenny. So you have run open mics before,
Yeah. Like the one
back
I
in
started-
Scotland.
The one I started in Scotland.
Get closer to the mic, man. Get closer to the mic,
The one
for
I
fuck's sake.
started in Scotland still going now, and it's actually on tonight.
Oh, really?
So if you go on,
There's no
Are they
lockdown in
open?
Scotland.
Are they open?
No, they do. It's just an open mic from their living room, out of like for my mum's bar, Cafe at Bergie's.
Do they invite people over there? So is it real life or?
They
Or is it like
basically-
what we were
no,
Virtual?
No, they play in their house. They
like-
play in their house, but they've been doing it since.
So they invite people over to their house to play.
They play in their. What do you mean? No, they just
They're
play in their
gonna
house and they stream it online.
Yeah, but is it just one person or is it a variety of
Sometimes
people?
it's a couple of people in
Yeah,
one place,
okay.
but it's mostly just one person.
Oh, okay.
So they've been doing that since the start of the lockdown, and in Scotland since it's been really tough back home
Yeah.
for everybody. Like we've been really lucky here, considering.
At least you didn't
Although
get
it doesn't
fucking
feel
snow
like it now.
Texas.
Because to be honest, guys, coming from Melbourne, we don't have open mics. The concept of an open mic maybe is thrown to the comedy circuit, right?
Which also
Did you ever
spawned in Budapest out of our
Did you ever look?
open mic scene. There was no comedy open mic scene here until they started coming to our open mics, and then they started their own little offshoot, and now have their own little brand and everything. But
A couple, yeah.
because Yellen was the
Yeah, I
first
know
place
a
that we would
couple,
allow comedians to come. But some people hated it, some people loved it, some people would just get pissed off and walk out of the room. They're like, "This is fucking I came here to
Yeah,
listen
but
to
I've
music." But
got
I'm like,
listen. I've got my
Hey,
theories
man,
on comedians.
everybody's
and open
welcome,
mics.
As he says, everyone gets a chance, but it
I've
wasn't
got-
always like that. Yellen was the first one where I said, okay, we can have storytellers, poets, and comedians, whatever.
So spoken
And believe me,
poetry.
yeah, we had people do spoken word. I've had guy read from his new novel. I've had all kinds of shit there. I had a Korean pop band come in there and film for Korean television, which we think might have been North Korean television because they were very, very discreet about who they said they were working for and all of this.
Very
So-
disciplined too.
Very
I remember-
disciplined. They gave us all these little pen sets with paper and stuff, and it was very, very interesting. But they wrote me for
Really?
like 3 months before they came, and everything had to be like. And I'm like, this is a fucking open mic, mate. But they came and it was this whole show, and that's why I'm thinking this has to be Kim Jong Un or whoever the hell, Kim Jong Il or whoever it was, dude. Oh, one Soviet country, another communist country. They're like, oh, Budapest is still very communist, you know. I don't know, that's what that seemed like. It was very funny though. And that was like 3 years ago.
Gabbo, when did the open mic really start? Because I was here in 2013.
I don't know when it started.
And I didn't hear of any open mic culture.
Listen,
The first I heard of it was from Monica. When I arrived here in 2019, Monica said, my boyfriend runs an open mic. And I thought, open mic, that must be for comedians and stuff like that. Then when I heard that it was actually for music, like proper open mic, but I thought, it would be something a bit daggy, like inside of a corner of a bar, and whoever's just there gets a bit drunk and gets up. But I had no idea that it had a community
I'm
behind
sure
it.
there's a scene everywhere, man. You just need to look for it. There's probably a scene in Melbourne.
Man, but Melbourne's weird,
the
man. They're all
thing
DJs
is-
and
the
listen
thing
to
is, it's
fucking,
all-
take drugs and all the
Yeah.
it's all haphazard, man. I mean, you don't know what's going to happen where. The thing is, I've started something, but I didn't know what I was doing, and I didn't start actually open mics in Budapest at all. I mean, there were all kinds of open mics here before, but they were sporadic.
That's
they
what I
were
was
on and
wondering,
off.
whether there was
They
an
weren't
open
run
mic.
regularly, or
They were on and off. There were several, not just.
There wasn't English-speaking ones until English-friendly ones. Until,
Even
like, he
though there
started
was one that was started by a half English, half Hungarian guy,
Tim.
Tim Atkins, but
Yeah.
it was mostly Hungarian. But there were other open mics.
They were charging admission and stuff too. It was weird.
There were other
Oh,
open
really?
mics before that. I would say, I mean, with all due respect, because I like the guy. I mean, I think he's a great guy, but I wouldn't call that an open mic because it was more like a showcase.
It was show, and he was bringing students in from his university and stuff.
Which
to
is
play,
great,
and
there's
they were
nothing
charging
wrong.
some other students to come. It was
And
cool,
where
but it
were
wasn't-
they playing? Where was
It was
the
at Ben Mosey. I think the original ones were at Ben Mosey.
Ben Mosey?
No, you know where Ben Mosey.
Ben, there
is?
was one. There was one of the venues, but it wasn't
I
the
don't
only
know where
one.
exactly where, but I remember.
Ben Mo-
going
Ben
to one at
Mosey- Ben Mosey
they tried
is-
to charge me 2,400 to get in. I was like,
2,000 by that time? It should be like 500, the last thing I remember.
it was-
But anyway,
but maybe
Ben
it was a
Mosey is
special one, I
is
don't
like
know.
on the Buddha side. It's the continuation of Kurt. You know Margaret Bridge?
Yeah.
Just a continuation of Margaret Bridge.
You never been to Ben
basically.
Mosey?
No,
Well,
no.
great
lately it hasn't been happening that much. Plus, I mean,
our friend Chris Parsons lives around the corner, so that's like his local. So if you ever want to go there and drink cheap beer, hang out with Parsons.
What's it called?
not fun.
Ben Mosey. It's a little cinema in there as well. So you go there, you drink, and then there's like they always show the Rock Horror Picture Show.
That's
or
cool.
something like that, Star Wars or Raiders of the Lost Ark or something.
Hey, you guys, keep this off the on the down low.
I'm being very quiet in this situation because I was never here, so I don't know. Like
You were a late comer.
The first open mic I ever went to wasn't yours. And now that I'm thinking about it, when I moved here, that was Tio's, but I was in one before with like your previous guests, like Susan Smite.
Ah, what at
They
Retalk?
They used to have one
in the
no,
basement at
Mika?
That was banging.
That was
Oh, Mika!
Actually, if we go
That was
back,
crazy.
go back and back, I think theirs was the very first one that they were running for the hostel ones. They were doing it in that basement off
but it wasn't the first.
on Kish the Ofa or something. That was like I used to go there in like 2013, 2012 or something.
So-
maybe
Okay,
even.
so
listen,
one thing.
But that was
Wait,
for
wait,
hostel
wait.
guests kind
Yeah,
of thing
exactly.
only.
So that was
When
closed.
I-
that was a private
Yeah.
party,
You had to
right?
know
So
someone
so
to
not
get
everybody
in.
could go
Was
in.
it really?
Yeah.
It wasn't really.
did- I
it was
did
open.
actually-
It
If
was
you
open.
knew like
All right, yeah.
I actually did
One at a
go
time.
there.
One at a time.
I actually did go there with like someone, so like maybe that's what it was. Sorry.
Yeah, you were saying.
So anyway, just trying to answer your question that it was that series was actually for the hostel guests, and if you wanted to go, you had to either know somebody or you had to be a hostel guest.
Yeah. They
Okay,
weren't
so
very
that's how
friendly
that
to
worked.
having our, like once we started doing our thing, we
Yes.
would bring our people down there who were a bit above the people that were staying at the hospital. And, they would get and there was always this kind of tension, you know? Like when Denny first moved here, Denny was like, oh, I want to go and I want to play. I want to show all those kids them. But the Schmike's whole point was it wasn't about being good. It was just about, you know, it was a retox kind of thing. So it was like, go get up there and fuck around and have a good time. you
They
know?
said we were intimidating
Yes.
the hostel guests
They
from
didn't-
signing
they
up
didn't want to
because
play
we
that.
were too good.
We took Rach there one time, and Denny. And
Okay,
all them,
so
and
that's
they were
the thing.
Like, oh, we don't want to play now. Those guys are so good.
So basically, we got banned for a while.
we did, yes.
Really?
Yes.
And then we weren't banned from going. We were banned from bringing our friends and letting them play on stage.
Fucking
We were banned
blackballed.
from signing up,
Yeah.
literally, for
So
a while.
already it was
For a
starting
while.
to shirk itself as like a bit of a
That's so
karaoke
foreign to
type
me.
style to actually being a bit higher class than just.
I mean, we didn't start it that way. It wasn't meant. We don't like vet the people to get up on stage. It just no thanks. It just most people that turned up to Yellen or Mika, these always were just really good because there's so many people coming in and out of Budapest all the time, and then they would see some of the videos on YouTube and we're like, oh, that looks cool, and then. I think at Yellen I had probably two or three people out of 5 years, almost 5 years, that were shit, that I had to tell them to get the fuck off stage. There was a few regulars
Really?
that I know that were bad, but I just let them go because they'd always start the night or something. But like people that came and thought they were good, that were just like, oh my god, you're
I
terrible.
could never
But-
do that.
But that was what, going back to the Retox thing. But they would just get up there and they didn't give a fuck and they just had a good time. So and I think that was the difference between what they were doing and what we were doing at that time. So